Hello. My name is Sunshine Trainer. I will be narrating this tutorial on how to certify your timesheet. I will be using my Chaps account to show you how to certify your timesheet. In this video, I will demonstrate how to 1. Access your timesheet. 2. Enter your work hours. 3. Certify your timesheet. Let's get started. After logging into Chaps, you will navigate to the Daily Time and Certification page by selecting Main menu, then select Self-Service. Select TWC Time Tracking System. Now, select Daily Time and Certification. On the Daily Time and Certification page, there is a Search Criteria section. The employee ID, calendar year, and month fields automatically default to the current year and month. If you need to change the information provided in these fields, you can change the information by selecting the drop-down arrows by each field. The remaining blank fields are optional, so you are not required to complete those fields. Now, let's continue to the timesheet. Select the Search button at the bottom of the page. As I mentioned previously, the information provided on the timesheet will automatically default to the current month. Now, let's review the other information provided on your timesheet. In the Employee HR Information section of the page, you will notice My Employee ID, Employee Name, and Employee Funding are displayed. The View Employee Funding hyperlink, Employee Default Funding, will show the funding codes associated to your position. Let's take a moment to view my funding codes. In this example, you will notice I have 3 funding codes for my position. Some employees only have 1 funding code. In a moment, we will discuss the difference between these scenarios and how to enter your time if you have more than 1 funding code available on your timesheet. Let's return to the Daily Time Activity Actuals page. Select the Return button at the bottom of the page. Under the Timesheet General Information section is the timesheet close date. Note, this is the date when all agency timesheets need to be fully certified by you and your supervisor prior to 5 p.m. Final changes are only available on the first working day of the following month. The next section is timesheet rows for this time period. Below this section title are 5 tabs labeled for each work week starting with week 1. As you select each tab, the dates of that week appear. Another view option is the Show All Columns view. Select the icon located to the right of the last work week, week 5, to display the Show All Columns view. This expands the view from weekly to a full month's view. Let's review this together. To navigate through each day of the month, you can use the scroll bar at the bottom of the page. Let's return to the previous view. Select the Show Tabs icon, located at top left of the Columns view. Now that we have returned to the timesheet rows for this time period section, let's continue to review the information provided on this page. You will notice that in addition to the dates columns there is the TTS code column, funding code or PFC code column, description column, and total hours column. In my TTS code column, there are entries labeled RH. RH stands for regular hours. Each RH will have a funding code that relates to those hours. RH is noted for each of my funding codes. If you have only 1 RH code, this means you only have 1 funding code. In turn, your timesheet will automatically populate your work hours for each day worked. If you have multiple RH codes, like me, you may have to manually enter your time, dividing your hours worked among the multiple funding codes. If you have further questions about entering your time, please consult with your supervisor to determine how to split your time correctly. Now, let's take a look at how to enter your hours on a standard 8-hour work week timesheet with multiple funding codes. It is important that when entering our time, we ensure it is entered accurately. It is recommended that we enter our time on a weekly basis. In this example, notice that my work schedule, row 1, indicates that I work a standard 8-hour work schedule. When entering my time, I ensure that my daily totals correspond to my work schedule. Let me show you why this is very important when there is a leave activity or extra hours worked entry. If the hours for any work week do not align with your normal work schedule, you will receive an error message informing you that you will not be able to certify your timesheet. If you have received approval to work outside your normal work schedule, please consult with your supervisor on how to adjust your timesheet accordingly. Let's continue to review how to fix this particular error. On my timesheet, I've entered 8 hours on a day. I had an approved leave entry. This leave entry was submitted for 2 hours. To fix this entry, I will have to adjust the RH entry to show 6 hours worked to account for my leave entry of 2 hours. By making this adjustment, you will now see that my daily totals now shows 8 hours, which is in alignment with my work schedule. Now that I have confirmed that my timesheet has been corrected, I'll select the Save button at the bottom of the page. Now that I have saved my entry, let's review how to certify my timesheet. Select the Timesheet Certification tab. A notice at the top of the page indicates my timesheet is ready for employee certification. Let's review the work activity percentage section. All timesheets have a default work activity. This will auto-populate. My department has specific work activities associated to specific cost centers. I will have to split my work across the applicable work activities. To do so, follow these steps. Select the plus sign to add an additional activity. Select the magnifying glass, also known as lookup activity. Locate the correct work activity or activities. Under the percent column, I'll enter 50 for each field. The total percentage should equal 100%. Increments of 5% are recommended. For more detailed descriptions of work activities, select the Work Activities Descriptions tab at the top of the page. Additionally, check with your supervisor on your work activities. Now, we can move on to certifying my timesheet. The Employee Timesheet Certification section is important, as this is where you confirm that your work hours are accurate and in alignment with the projects and functional activities for this period, and that your timesheet is true and correct to the best of your knowledge. In my case, I have reviewed my timesheet and confirmed that it is correct. Now, I can select the drop-down arrow next to Employee Certification Status. Then, I select Certified by Employee. A disclaimer appears, noting that this is my final chance to make any corrections and/or changes I deem fit by selecting No. I am certain that my time has been entered correctly, so I'll select Yes. Now that I have certified my timesheet, you will notice the note presented at the top of the page now states, Ready for Supervisor Certification. When my supervisor approves my timesheet, this note will be updated to show that my timesheet is fully certified. We have now reached the end of our tutorial. I hope you found this to be helpful. If you need additional information regarding the timesheet certification process, please contact tts.coordinator@twc.state.tx.us. If you have any comments and/or suggestions related to this tutorial, please contact Training and Development at training.development@twc.state.tx.us. Thank you for your interest in this tutorial, and until next time, have a great day.